got to take prop home. I mean, I take the Zeppelin home. So, so
Got it, Mia. You took the
yeah,
Zeppelin.
I got to take the Zeppelin home. I got to take one.
Hello, A Christmas Story family, and welcome to our very first episode of Talking a Christmas Story. I'm Yano Anaya, but you might remember me better as that not-so-terrifying little bully Grover Dill. Today we are diving deep into the heart of what makes A Christmas Story a timeless classic, sharing unforgettable moments from our recent 40th anniversary events, and of course, connecting with you, our cherished fans. So grab your pink bunny suits, get cuddled up, and let's get started on this nostalgic journey together. In December of 2023, we witnessed something truly magical in Hammond, Indiana. Cast, crew, and fans gathered together for the 40th anniversary of A Christmas Story, proving that the spirit of this film is more alive than ever. For many of us, myself included, it was like stepping back into time, yet finding everything wonderfully unchanged. It's this unique connection we all share with Ralphie, his dreams, and his mishaps that keeps this film not just relevant, but beloved across generations. One of the most beautiful aspects of A Christmas Story is its ability to touch hearts in ways we could never have imagined. Take, for instance, the story shared by Nick Sosley, a top contributor in our community. Nick grew up as an orphan, finding in our movie a vision of family life that was both comforting and inspiring. This year, Nick's Christmas might look a little different as he'll be working, but he plans to end his day with a Chinese dinner and a rewatch of our film. It's stories like Nick's that remind us of the profound impact our little movie has had.
Just a little pattern interrupt here, making sure you guys are paying attention. Listen, we have a lot of stories to tell. I mean, so many that this will never end. But anyways, besides the fact, this is not about me. This is not about the stories of endless storytelling about A Christmas Story and all of our experiences. Today is about Ian Petrella. So let's get busy.
Hey, it's me again. I know this is kind of crazy, right? Different location, different outfits, but this is why you want to subscribe and you want to hit that bell notification so that every single time we've got a new episode or if we've got some information to share with you that you don't miss out, because we do have a lot of stories to be sharing. And again, share it and let's get subscribed and let's hit that bell notification so that you don't miss out. I've been fortunate enough to collect a treasure trove of behind the scenes anecdotes over the years. Did you know that the infamous tongue sticking scene was actually filmed in reverse? Or that the snow in Hammond was mostly soap flakes and firefighting foam? These little tidbits offer a glimpse into the creativity and the ingenuity that went into making A Christmas Story. In the show, we'll be chatting with Ian Petrella, the incredible talent behind Randy, Ralphie's little brother. Ian's got some fantastic stories to share about filming, his take on the movie's legacy, and what it's like being part of something that's cherished by so many people worldwide. And before we wrap up today, I got a little teaser for y'all. There's been a buzz about a mysterious figure from the past, someone who played a pivotal role in the creation of A Christmas Story, stepping into the spotlight soon. Who could this be? I don't know. Well, you'll have to stay tuned and keep an eye out for clues in our community discussions. And now it's time to introduce Ian Petrella. Hey everybody, I have Ian Petrella on our very first podcast, Talking a Christmas Story. What's up, Ian?
How's it going?
Doing great, man. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
Good to see you again.
Right on. So, Ian, I've got some questions from some fans from the group that are dying to kind of get these answers from you. So, the first question that we got is from Emma, and she's actually in Toronto.
Hey, Emma.
Was that?
I said, hey, Emma.
Yep. Emma from Toronto.
Hi.
So she said, Ian, what was it like working in the snow in the scenes? Was it cold or was it all that movie magic?
Well, it was both. Because we shot in two different places. As you might know, Emma, we shot in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where the house was, and Higby. And then we did shoot in Toronto, and we shot a lot of scenes, outside in Toronto. So we had the two different climate. Now they were both cold. Let's just put it that everything was cold. January, February,
Freezing.
cold. Cleveland in Toronto, cold. That's all there is to it. Cold. So, but in Cleveland, we didn't have snow. So there was no snow in Cleveland. So all the snow that you see in Cleveland was fake. It was either sand or it was fire foam or it was potato flakes or plastic shavings. But once we got to Cleveland, once we got to Toronto, that's where everything was real snow. And for me, being from California, now people think, Californians don't know what snow is. We do because it's up in the mountains. We just have to drive to it. So I'm here in Sacramento right now, and I look outside, and the mountains are still covered in snow. It's pretty awesome. So, it was exciting, at least because you walk out of your hotel, there's snow, so you want to go and play in it and everything. So, but yeah, it was, it was cold. So, but I had that big snowsuit, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Oh, and that leads into the next question from Luke in Dallas. He asks, how did you feel when you were wrapped up like a snowsuit mummy? Could you actually move?
Yes, you could move. His name's Luke, right?
Yes, Luke.
Yes, Luke, you could actually move. That's called acting. So you could actually move around and do whatever you wanted. But like I said, because there were times it was very, very cold, I was probably one of the warmest kids on the set because you had that big, yeah, you had that big suit on. And let's face it, this is a movie production. If you're that cold and you go, I'm cold, they just rush you to your trailer with the heat and the hot cocoa. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah. So
All right, so next question I got is from Sarah. Oh, you got one more? One more for Luke?
but yeah, so a lot of people when they getting back to the relation part of being a movie, a lot of people do come up to me and they look at, the Randy character with the suit talking, they say, that was my childhood. And I say, oh, trailer with hot cocos? That's pretty awesome. They're like, no, we just
I was wrapped up and it was freezing outside.
we didn't suffer.
All right, so next question I got is from Sarah, and she's actually in Cleveland.
Hey,
She asks, yep, it's like Sarah. What's up, Sarah? Do you still eat like Randy in the movie sometimes, just for fun?
well, considering the fact I never did, no, and not even really for fun. So I don't. I probably never will. I've had people do it for me. I had one person at the Christmas Story house, and they came up to me because obviously the Christmas Story house they have the kitchen, and there was this one woman. She showed up, and she was probably in about her, I'd say mid-30s, and she came in, and she had a little igloo cooler with her, and she said, "I have a favor." And I go, "Okay, what's your favor?" She opens up the igloo and she pulls out a plate of mashed potatoes. She puts it on the table inside the Christmas Story house.
Oh no.
And my first thought was, nope, I don't care. I don't care how much money is in your pocket. This is humiliating. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
And she, no, 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 no. I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to watch me do it. And I go,
Oh.
okay, I don't know if that's weirder, but Go ahead. So she did it, and her friend videotaped it. And I sat there and watched her. She pulled out the bib, put the bib on,
Oh,
and she did the whole scene right in front of me in
wow.
the Christmas Story house. So, I was, I thought it was definitely entertaining. I felt, moved by it at least. This person was willing to reenact the scene. So I didn't find it like weird or insulting. I thought it was just hilarious, that this person would actually do this. And through the whole time I made her feel very comfortable while doing it. I didn't, insult her or make her feel, because she's definitely making an ass out of herself, but I felt it was my job to at least justify, yes, what you're doing is good. What you're doing is good. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that had to have been like one of her like deepest things that she really wanted to do in front of you. Like that there
it
had to be some deep-seated,
was,
desires to make that happen. That's
you know,
awesome.
a lot of times people just think, I don't know what they're thinking. But no, she did that, and you know what? I wasn't going to spoil her moment.
Yeah, exactly.
So because it wasn't any sweat off of my back. I
Right.
didn't have to do it. I've had people who threw money in my face, say, "Come on, do it, do it, do it," and I just throw the money right back at them. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. That's the number one thing. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. You have the movie. So,
Right. All right. All right. Next question I got is from Derek in San Francisco. What's up, Derek? So what's your fondest memory from the sets of A Christmas Story?
ooh, wow, Derek. God, there's so many. In fact, I'd even say you're in San Francisco. We're only an hour away. We might just hang out for lunch, and I'll just tell you everything.
You probably would enjoy that.
I mean, fondest memory. I'm trying to think of like one specific because obviously there's so many, but I think one of the fun. But see, this is I'll say this memory, but I just don't think it's always fair to tell the people this memory anymore because they're never going to see it, and that is one of the fantasy scenes that Ralphie had, with the Flash Gordon. I got to go see the set. I got to go see all that. And it was just really cool to see this science fiction set for the first time in your life as a kid and how they build science fiction and like, they have like the backdrop of stars. And then you walk closer to it and it's just a black cloth with holes poked in it. And that's all it is. There's no lights, there's no nothing. It's so practical. And to see all that and to see that big puppet and crawl inside of it and learn how it works. That's one of my fondest memories, but unfortunately, nobody's going to be able to see that scene. So I feel bad telling that scene, but yeah, Derek, that's one of the fondest.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's like those are the little things that people don't even know, and
Yeah.
having that to be able to be shared is amazing for most.
It's really too bad we're never going to get that scene because it was thrown
Yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah. All right, Derek. I hope that really helped you kind of understand what Ian's favorites parts of his memories. Now, next question I have is actually from Mia, and Mia is in Orlando. What's up, Mia?
Hey, man.
Um, if you could take any prop from the movie home with you, what would it have been and why?
Well, I got to take prop home. I take the Zeppelin home. So, so,
All right, Mia, you took the
yeah,
Zeppelin.
I got to take the Zeppelin home. I got to take one of the snowsuits home.
That's awesome.
Uh, so yeah, I got to. But if I got to take any of the props home that I wanted to, yeah, I'd probably be one of the Bumpus Hounds. But
We're dog lovers, man. Yes, we are.
I just walking with my dad the other day down the waterfront in Vallejo, and some dude came walking by, and he had a bloodhound. And I stopped, and it was just, the sweetest thing. And, he was really cool. And it was someone that my dad knew, and we were walking, and I told my dad, I should have told him who I was because,
It
you
would
don't,
have made, yes.
that's the thing you don't see a lot of is bloodhounds.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of people with bloodhounds.
Mm.
It's very rare. So that was the first time I've seen the bloodhound in a very long, long time.
All right, next question is from Josh in New York. And I think this is one of those questions we talked about earlier, that, we have literally been answering this question for decades, and there's still so many fans out there that don't know the answer to these questions.
No,
So,
we don't.
Josh, huh? You're not
We
gonna... so, so Josh in New York is going to ask you, did you and the cast keep in touch after filming the movie?
I mean, I guess since we're talking right now, yes. But I'm just being sarcastic because he's from New York, and I know he can take it. All right, forget about it. No, actually, Peter and I, after we filmed, um, we did actually have some contact. We did hang out a bit afterwards. Not very long, but we did. He'd come over to my house and we, spend the night and hang out. Now I was in Los Angeles and he was in Phoenix, Arizona, so he'd have to fly out.
Hmm.
And I would go up to his, house in Phoenix and hang out. And then, we do that for a couple times. And a lot of times he would come out to LA for auditions. So when he was out there, we get together and meet up. But he was really the only one after that I hooked up with or met up with. The only other person that I could say that I met up with right after A Christmas Story was you. And that was, I don't know if you remember this, but it was Chuck E. Cheese.
Of course I remember that.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Having my 9th birthday at
Uh-huh.
Chuck.
It was so close to the house. That's why we went.
Yeah. And it was the stage, and they had like one of those hamster mazes that you crawl through. And we were crawling through it, and we both kind of hit head on, and it was you, and you were like, "Oh my God, it's Ian." That was it. And then the time I saw you,
That's
I think it's just you're just kind of running around and being kids and whatever. But yeah, that was the last time I saw you, and that was the last time I think I saw any of the cast members. Maybe aside from Peter, but I didn't see Scotty until later on. Yeah, and somebody
in like 2005, 2006, like one of the first couple of little shows that we went to.
No, it was even before the
It was
shows.
before the shows. Okay.
Yeah, it was before the shows, and I remember. So we were hanging out for a bit, and he told me, he said, "Hey, Zach's having a party," because he was on a new. This was after Titus, and he was on a new show.
Okay.
And they were premiering the show, so he was having a whole party for the show. And so he's like, you want to go to the party?" I'm like, "Of course I want to go to the party. I haven't seen this guy, years." So we show up at the party. Zach's there, and Scotty walks up, and of course they know each other because they've been, friends for a while. And so they say hi, and then Zach sees me, doesn't really say much. Scotty goes, "Oh, this is Ian," and Zach goes, "Hey, Ian, what's up? How you doing, man? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to my party." And then goes back to talking to Scotty. And Scotty and I both kind of look at each other like, what's going on? And Zach goes, "Zach, this is Ian." And Zach's like, "Yeah, okay. What's that?" Like, "This is Ian. He did the movie with us, Randy." And Zach's like, "Oh my God." And that was the first time seeing Zach again, And then, obviously seeing RD at the 20th anniversary, and then you came along afterwards. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's amazing to see how the evolution of our relationships have intertwined back and forth just from this movie, and that now it's like here we are, you know what I mean, doing podcasts together and really building this a Christmas Story family. We got so much cool stuff going on. It's awesome. Right on.
back in 2003, when I had gotten the call from the guy who put the 20th anniversary together, said, hey, do you want to come down and do the 20th anniversary? I almost didn't go
Really?
because I was like,
Why?
what is this? I don't understand. And I asked him, I said, well, who's going to be there? And he said, well, everybody's going to be there. I said, well, who's everybody? Don't just say everybody. Who's everybody? And he started listing all the names of I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now I need to go. So it's a good thing I called him. Instead of sending that, email, I was like, not interested. Send. I wanted to know because there was a curiosity. I was like, who's going to be there? So, but I mean, that, was kind of the start of, all this.
Yeah.
Had I now, okay, you might sit there and think, well, oh, if I didn't show up. No, no, no. We're dealing with Scotty Schwartz. He would have found me eventually, and I would be a part of this. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no way he was going to be like, no, 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 no. We're not going to let him go. I'll find him and get him here. So
Cool. All right. Well, thank you all fans for submitting all your questions. We'll gather some more later for our next show, our next podcast. What I'd like to do is transition into actually getting to know Ian Petrella at a little more intimate conversation. So, Ian, there are some questions that obviously a lot of fans would like to know. Specifically, I'd like to ask two, maybe three, because you can expand on this and kind of talk about, what's going on in your life. And so first question is, what have you been up to since A Christmas Story and or also A Christmas Story Christmas? And so tell us about like what you currently got going on, your current projects, and let's just, we can go from there.
well, let's see. What have I been doing since A Christmas Story? Well, it's been 40 years, so can't all into a podcast. That's a lot of information. Um, it's a lot of trying, a lot of failing. As far as what I'm doing nowadays, as far as what I'm working on right now, yes, I'm doing something, but I also have this superstition that you don't talk about what you're doing until you're ready to at least launch it. So if you're working on something, which I am, and it's a very big deal to me, but I can't really tell too much what it is. It's even like, and the reason why I say that is not like, oh, it's a big secret, you're going to be surprised. The reason is because if I tell you, oh, I'm doing this whole great thing and then it doesn't happen, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just say, yeah, I'm working and I don't know. So if it never happens, which I hope it doesn't, I want it to happen, but if it never happens, because you'll never be disappointed because that has happened. And I've done these conventions and these signings and I've been working on stuff. And people have said, what are you doing? I'm like, I got this thing that I'm doing. And then a year later will come by and that same person will come by and go, what happened to that thing? And I went, it didn't happen. So, I am working on something. I just can't say exactly.
Well, we're all excited to hear about what that is when it comes to fruition. We all support you and love you with that. So, if it comes to fruition, I hope that, we,
But
yeah.
I should just say I'm not doing anything. Because even that,
now we know.
That's another tease for people to go, oh, I wonder what it is. I should just shut my goddamn mouth and just say nothing. That's a better answer. Seriously.
Right on. All right. So we got one more question to ask. from a fan, and they wanted to know, are there any causes or charities that you're passionate about? Any current involvement with anything to that nature?
I don't have any charities. There's often charities that I do think about joining up, but um, I think if I were to join a charity, you probably wouldn't know about it. I would just do the charity. It's I don't want to tell people like, oh, look at me, I'm doing a charity.
Mm.
Do it.
Right on.
If it was probably be something that not only just donating money, but something that I'd have to actually physically help out with, and I just haven't found one yet. I mean, someday I might. It's not out of the question. I do think about it. There is one possible charity that I would like to be a part of. I'm just not ready to do it yet. So when I am, I will, but I won't say what it is. Once again, just say nothing. Just say nothing. You don't have to tell people what your idea is. Just say I don't know or nothing. That's it. That's a good enough answer for that. So
Right on. All right. So we'll do one more question. I just feel like this one is probably something that could spark some interest in fans. So there was somebody that asked that if you have any new skill sets or hobbies that you've picked up recently that might surprise your fan base.
no,
Nothing.
and I can honestly say nothing, and that's not me hiding anything. I could actually say nothing.
That's awesome. Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, Ian, is there anything else that you'd like to talk to the fans about or say anything to them personally before we wrap this up?
I don't know, but no. I mean, no. Thank you to all the fans. Um, the one thing I say is, the way I see it is, I'm not. I've never seen myself as famous. I've never seen myself as really a celebrity, so to speak. I always considered myself a person who's in a famous movie, and that's how I see it. And that's what's important is the movie. So if you're a fan of this movie and you love this movie, do whatever you can to keep the movie alive. Show it to your family, pass it on to future generations, and that's the best you could do. You know, because we're we're just we're humans and we're people and we live our everyday lives and eventually we're all going to go away in some way or another. But the movie's going to live on, and that's probably the most important thing that you can do is just do that. Love the movie, pass it on to future generations. If you were one of those people that you have traditions at home that you do that help celebrate the movie or whatever, keep doing those because that's what's going to matter. So, and we're happy to hear that you do that, and just keep doing it. And that's better than I don't want to say it's better than residuals because we really love residuals off the 24-hour marathon. But if the 24-hour marathon is part of your tradition, then please go ahead, keep watching. But yeah, we don't get money off of that. So, but keep moving. That's it. That's all you can do. Please, thank you. Um, I'll love it. Yano loves it. The cast loves it. Bob would love it. Gene, you know, Bob and Gene are the people that really made this movie what it is and helped it come about. So it's really just honoring them as opposed to we're just the guys that are still alive. And that's the thing. We're not all going to be alive someday. I give myself 20 years tops. So, um, you know, think about it that way. You know, think about it. 20 years. Give yourself 20 years. I'm not going to be here. And, someone's got to keep this movie alive. And that's going to be you guys, not us. You. So you got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders right now, people. As keeping this movie alive. We can't do it. You know, we're mortals. But you have the power to make this movie immortal. So go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, I greatly appreciate your time. Love you very much for that. And as you heard it right from Ian's mouth, is to keep the essence of A Christmas Story alive, keep the tradition going. You guys, all of you fans out there, are the guardians to this movie to keep the tradition going.
But
So
there's
yes.
just like us, there's no money in it. So just get used to that fact.
That's right. Just pass the word on and keep it in your family, right?
Just do it.
All right, you guys. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much. We'll let Ian go and we'll move on to the next. That's you guys later. All right, bye.
Get a little laugh out of it. I'm not gonna get anything. Oh, screw it all.
As we come to the end of today's heartwarming trip down memory lane, I can't help but tease what's coming up next. Our next episode will feature none other than Zach Ward, who brought the fearsome Scud Farkas to life. So, if you've ever wondered about the man behind the yellow eyes and that coonskin cap, now's your chance to get those questions ready. Head over to our community and submit what you're dying to know. Zach's stories is sure to be as riveting as his character was menacing. Thank you for joining me on this trip down memory lane. A Christmas Story isn't just a movie. It is a shared experience, a piece of our collective history, and a reminder of the joys of childhood, family, and the holiday spirit. I'm Yano Anaya, your guide through the world of A Christmas Story. Remember to keep your hearts warm, your eyes peeled for those elusive clues. Until the next time, may your holidays be merry and not a single eye gets shot out.
Oh my God, I shot my eye out.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.